Good morning. It's 9:01. I'm calling to order the Merit System Commission for the City of Marine. May
Mr.
we have a
Watts.
roll call, please?
Mr. Watts.
Here.
Ms. Delph.
Here.
Mr. Kempe.
Here.
I'll make a motion to excuse Mrs. Wasty.
I'll second that.
Mr. Watts.
Yes.
Mr. Kempe.
Yes.
Ms. Delph.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at the minutes? If there are any additions, corrections, deletions? Seeing none, the minutes are approved as published.
I make a motion we accept as read.
I don't think we have to.
We don't have to accept the minutes?
They are accepted if
Oh,
you
then
do
I
not
second
have
that.
an
Gotcha.
objection or correction.
No.
Okay. Moving on to our first order of business, our full-time firefighter list certification.
Guess that's on. As you see, we've interviewed, I believe there's 27 names on here. I lost track, but and ranked them. The ones in yellow are the paramedics. That's just because they save the city money because we don't have to pay for them to go to school, but we still ranked them. And then the bottom of them are the ones that we've eliminated so far or they've withdrawn from the process.
Further questions?
How were you on the interview process?
I was in on it. I
mean,
sat in it.
Were you comfortable with the people?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's some good ones. Some of them I've already heard have already taken jobs other places just through, the mill. But, so yeah, there's some good ones on here that I think we can get.
Okay.
Any other questions, concerns? Thank you. All right. I need a motion to certify the
Full-time?
full-time firefighter entry-level list.
I make that motion?
Second?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Kempe.
Yes. Excellent. All right, moving along. Our next order of business, full-time mechanic entry-level discussion.
Good morning. Yeah, I just wanted we have a mechanic that left, and I just kind of wanted to run some stuff by you guys. I'm not sure how much of it really pertains to like having to be, a decision made or not, but we have not hired a mechanic since I've been in this role. And looking back at the previous times that we hired, in 2016 when we posted the test, I think is when we hired Toby. They had to have a minimum of 5 years experience. They had to have current ASEs and brakes, steering, suspension, air conditioning, and then they must obtain a CDL within 1 year. I know we have changed some things in our street maintenance worker position because of the requirements of CDLs that we're requiring them to have a CDL now. So when you fast forward to the 2021 when we did this, or when Brian did this, when we hired Nathan, they said a minimum of 5 years experience, must have knowledge in gas and engine diesels. Selected applicant must obtain a Class B CDL within a year, and then they need to have ASCs and brake steering and whatever else. My thing is I think we need to change some of the requirements. I think we need to make them have a CDL. We need to be the same as we are with our street maintenance worker, because now the CDL requirements is like $5,000 to obtain. You have to have 40 hours of classroom, 40 hours of drive time. It's hard for somebody to ask somebody to be able to do that as soon as they're starting a new job and find the time to do that. And then we're already going to have some issues here just with the starting pay. I reached out to a diesel mechanic at Palmer Trucks, reached out to Stoops, diesel mechanics there, and I've reached out to a couple of dealerships, and right now they're offering guys $30 an hour to come in with no experience. our position here requiring a CDL, requiring 5 years experience, requiring 5 ASCs, and we're starting them at $22 or $23 an hour. So I think that we need to look at what we're requiring them to have in order to come in. I mean, I know we can start them higher on the pay scale, which we can talk about that, but if you're requiring somebody to have a CDL and somebody to have 5 years experience, that person could go anywhere right now and make $40 an hour. I don't think we're going to have very many applicants with those kind of requirements starting at $23 an hour.
Well,
I just don't want to waste our time posting something and we're going to have, I mean, the last time we hired Nathan, when we had these requirements back in 21 or 2020, he was the only one I think that applied, right, Aaron? And I think we ended up finding him off Indeed.
Right. I think there was actually maybe 2 people that applied, but the other person didn't have the requirements.
Yeah.
So then they were immediately eliminated. So Nathan was the only one that took the test.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is something that we need to change here, the requirements, before we make an ad and bring an ad back to you and post it. I just didn't want to get to the point of making an ad and everything and then stuff needing to be changed without talking to you all about it first.
We have had some discussion regarding CDL requirements in the past year. We need to perhaps revisit that with your department
Yeah.
so that we can be assured that we have all of the appropriate requirements
Yeah.
for the position.
Yeah.
As far as the salary for the position, everybody knows we're not going to get good applicants without at least a competitive salary.
Yeah.
That, however, is not something that we have
jurisdiction over.
control
Yeah,
over.
yeah. I understand that. My biggest thing was I really just wanted this to kind of mirror our street maintenance worker where we're going to require a CDL and not obtain within the first year. Because the problem is that it's going to be so hard for somebody to try to do.
Let me ask you this. What is entry level for street department, salary-wise?
It's a little bit, so the mechanic position runs as the operator 1 pay. The street maintenance worker entry level is like $1, maybe less than whatever this position would start at.
Okay, but in order to get this position, first off, let's talk about mechanics entry level. Is it really an entry level position? I mean, what are you asking for as an entry level position? You want somebody that has 0 education in mechanical skills as an entry level. And if you've got somebody that's got 0 experience as a mechanic, why are you asking them to go instantly out and spend $5,000 on a CDL license?
Well, I mean,
Entry level street department doesn't use CDL license until they're operator 1.
I mean, they can use it. We try to keep it that
Can
way,
I say
but-
one thing? I think the term entry level may be getting confused because we have the lateral process or we have an entry level process. So we've been identifying them when we do the hiring list as entry level, as in they're starting from the bottom versus lateral. So I don't know that it's necessarily the entry level, like all the way to the bottom. I think
See,
it's
that's what I'm getting at. Entry level to me is somebody that's got no real experience in the job that they're applying for. If you want somebody that's got ASTM certifications out there or a CDL license, that's beyond entry level to me. So that's going to have to go with you in the TO chart and see where that has to change. As Jim has stated, if we want people that's going to be competitive, we can't be competitive at this level wanting somebody with these type of qualifications when McDonald's can hire them for the same money.
Well, I mean, it's a good job. Don't get me wrong, but just it's like skilled trades. I mean, you can be not have any knowledge at all in skilled trades and be making a lot of money right now, and they'll train you on the job. So I don't think that we even have the option to do lateral in our department. We're the one department that doesn't have that. I mean, I've
you
heard
guys
that there's.
don't, neither does maintenance.
I've heard there's a couple guys, one is a mechanic at Township, that might possibly apply through the grapevine. They heard that we might be hiring, but, would be nice to bring somebody in like that with the experience, but I'm sure that person's already probably up the pay scale and they're not going to be willing to come back and start at the bottom. But at the same time, I don't, that's all, I'm just trying to come here to see about the requirements so we can get an ad out. And if you guys are okay with us trying to mirror the street maintenance worker stuff to where we're gonna require them to have a CDL. And if we wanna take off the 5 years experience, if we wanna take off that they have, I mean, maybe we say, hey, you gotta obtain these ASCs within the first year versus you have to have them hiring. I don't know what, I'm just trying to figure out how we can do this where it's not a waste of our time trying to put it out there knowing we're not gonna get applicants,
Well,
waste your guys' time.
I guess what you need to do, what you need to think about more than anything, Chris, is are we looking at an entry-level position or are you looking at a mechanic's position?
Well, I mean, either way, it's somebody that's gonna come in.
Well, no, I think there's a major difference between entry-level and a mechanic. Entry-level, this kid's got nothing. He knows nothing. So the requirements that you're asking for, or was on the last test, would be mute.
But the
Mr.
problem
Watts.
is it's a mechanic
Mr.
position.
Watts,
It's a
yeah.
mech,
Right,
yeah.
correct.
Just because through you guys, we have entry level or
And-
we have lateral.
Right.
So you're kind of getting a little
The,
bit
the,
confused.
the lateral process,
Quite honestly, our mechanic pay, Chris was saying, maybe we have to look at starting them a little later in the steps, I don't know. Our overall pay, our overall benefits, everything attractive enough. Is that first step that he's, now what he's saying is, if you guys are okay with it modifying add to maybe not have all those specific requirements, 5 different certifications, we may have a better chance at the number of applicants. That has nothing to do with it, calling it an entry level.
Well, I agree with you on that, Mike. I agree with you on that. The problem is those that you've got one applicant then that has none of those qualifications, but yet everything looks peachy keen. And you have another applicant that comes in that's got all of the same requirements that's on the current test.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's really nice. Which one do you want? You gonna go for the lowest one that you can buy for the dollar amount, or are you gonna go with some, I mean, you see what I'm saying? It's two different people that we're interviewing for the same job.
On the qualifications in the department, we have 2 other mechanics. So then the indication is, what do we actually need? That would be the basis for, not on just automatic person.
I think that, I mean, we could, if somebody, one thing would be a lateral, if we could do a lateral. The other thing would be, I think that the only requirement that we should have here is a CDL, and that we require they get their ASCs within the first year. I think that's the big thing is the CDL.
Okay,
And,
now,
and we can get their ASCs for them, but like I said, for somebody to already have or for somebody to already have the 5 years experience and somebody to already have all the ASCs, they've been doing mechanic work for a while, so wherever they're at, they're probably making some pretty good money. And if they're not making pretty good money, they're probably not a good mechanic. I mean, that's just my thing. So I think if we can just reduce what we're requiring them to apply, might help us get some people in the door. And then I don't know what the process is with the lateral. I don't know why our department's not allowed to do that, but that might be something that might benefit us down the road
I
too.
think that's union stuff, isn't it?
no, that process was all determined by Martina, and I think it had something to do with how the entry-level process worked. On the entry-level process, we had a test mechanism, and on the lateral, we did not. So there was always this issue before about how when we were hiring people that had taken the test versus not taking the test. So within the police and the fire departments, they already have their OPATA, they already have their EMT level, they already have this, they already have that. So that test piece then got foregone and said, okay, we can do a lateral because they have those already. So on the entry levels, we have a testing process right now where we can have a person apply that does not have OPATA. So I think that's the issue, is that you have the entry-level process versus a lateral process, and not necessarily entry-level position, right? I think the position's still just called a mechanic, period, right? Not entry-level or a, you know,
We just have a mechanic and a chief
five-star
mechanic, that's
mechanic.
all we have.
It's just called mechanic. It's just the entry-level process or the lateral process. And that was determined by Martina a few years ago. I think you actually were on the committee when we were talking about it, because there was a conversation about how we wanted to open it up for the mechanics that had all these plumbing certificates and electrical certificates and all these other things. And she said that that would not count. Do you remember this?
I remember that, but I also massively disagreed with that.
I agree. Yeah, I know.
Because the qualifications to obtain those things, such as a CDL license in this instance, is almost as strenuous as what getting, what's the step just under paramedic? What would you call that? EMT. I'm not kidding either. I mean, when you invest
money-wise,
$8,000 in
money-wise,
class,
I would say not.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I'd say it's a lot harder to become an EMT than get a CDL license, but as far as monetary, it's probably, I don't know how much it costs. It's $5,000 for a CDL.
Well, I had some of them guys, I wouldn't let them put a wrap around my arm.
Yeah. But so on this, if we are, I don't know how you guys feel about changing that, maybe require the CDL, and then instead of saying you need to have the ASCs, you need to obtain them within a year, because I feel like that's something they can do while they're working full-time.
Do you want the CDLs on already acquired?
Yes, because that's what we're requiring now. We changed that for our street maintenance workers because of the process to get them. There was a really nice program that the Cable Council was running over at West Carrollton, where you could, if you worked for a municipality, so if we hired somebody here and they didn't have a CDL, they could go over there and do all their classroom, their driving and everything for $1,200. And then all they had to do was go take the test. That program is now gone because some of the requirements have changed and they don't have anybody to teach the class anymore. So now you've got to go to a private place that's $4,000 or $5,000 to get your CDLs. And you got it where you could go over there and it was like 2 days of classroom and then 2 days of driving and you were done. Now it's 40 hours of classroom and 40 hours of driving before you're eligible to go to take your test. So I think it's just easier for us if they come in here with the CDL. Now I know that's going to limit our apps. There's not very many kids nowadays that are younger or anybody that's willing to go out and spend $5,000 to get a CDL to hope that they get a job they can use it at. Typically, these trucking companies and all these guys are giving CDLs are offering them a job. As soon as they get their CDL, they're already making money. They're on the ground running. So that's where I think maybe, because like Mike said, our benefit package is so enticing that we might benefit from a lateral or something, because somebody that might already be in another city, like, hey, yeah, I make a good money, but the benefits over there and stuff is nice. I'd like to slide over there. So I don't know if that's something that we could talk about. But like I said, I wanted just to discuss this because I didn't want to make an ad and bring it to you guys and then say, okay, now we want to change all this.
Sounds like you've got a fairly good list of requirements. You're still unsure about whether all of them need to be requirements.
Yeah.
Okay. It also sounds like once those requirements have been defined, we can use, surely there are resources here at the city to help us ensure that our salary range is appropriate for our area. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, there's no point in even discussing
Well,
a
I don't
position.
think that we need to change that. I mean, I think if somebody is way overqualified, then maybe we can just start them up a little bit higher on the scale. That's something we can talk about later. But I think, just for this and trying to get an ad out, would you guys be okay if I brought an ad back that changed the requirements for you guys to look at and say, hey, we're okay with this, and approve that?
As long as you think these requirements are something that you're going to stick to for a minimum of 10 years as an entry-level open position. Because once we post this, 2 years from now, I can't change those same conditions and lower them yet again. Like you said, the last time we posted this position was almost 6 years ago.
Well,
Okay,
the last
that's
time was
enough time
21.
That's enough time that people have already received jobs. I can't have this position today and these are the requirements, and in a year from now, same job, these are the requirements. That's unfair to the employee that got the first job.
Yeah, I mean, the last person that got hired in mechanic position was Toby, and he got hired in 2017. So I don't think you're going to run into that problem, But my thing is, and I don't know how this works, I've never had to change it, but maybe it's something we can talk to the union about where, hey, you don't come off probation until you acquire your ASEs. I don't know if that's something that we could even talk about. That way it forces them, you got to go get your ASEs. Like, we're going to bring you in here, and, we can obviously help them with their ASEs. Our guys get recertified all the time. But maybe that's something that we talk about. Hey, you're going to be on probation until you get the ASEs. If it takes you a year, it takes you a year. But from what I've talked to them guys, it's not that hard to obtain your ASEs, especially in the ones that we're requiring. That's some of the lower ones. Now, there's more you can get, obviously, with continued education, and our guys have more than just these. But I don't know if that's a bigger discussion. I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed to do that without getting the union involved.
Let me ask
I
you
don't know.
this. Let me ask you this, and I'm being way out here on this. How much time do you perceive Tom to have before his retirement?
I think Tom, at the very minimum, is like 5 years till he gets to age that he can retire. Is
That's
the
enough
minimum.
time.
So, and I honestly, Toby can leave before Tom.
Really?
Yes, because Toby has a lot of time from where he was at Wright State.
Oh,
Toby has more time in than Tom does technically. Tom, yeah, I think, I think he'll have the 25 at 62, and he's 57, so in 5 years, but he won't, it's not gonna be much of a draw, but, if he needed to go, he could go, I guess.
well, like Jim's saying, whatever you want, just bring it back to us, and then we'll do the next steps with that. If you're comfortable and you think the union is comfortable with the expectations of what you want in the next.
That's where I was kind of confused. I didn't know how much the union has a say in this, in
I
the
can't
testing.
cross that union line.
I don't know if they have any say in it. I don't even know.
Right.
I don't know if you know that
If
or
you're
not.
talking about
I mean,
probationary
I'll
status,
figure that
then I'm
out, but-
sure the union will have a position on it,
Yeah,
and we should definitely seek that out ahead of time here.
yeah. So I'll get with our union rep and stuff, and then see. And I'll bring something back to see if you guys are okay with the requirements that we're going after. And then, like I said, I don't know if the lateral is something we can revisit in the meantime before we decide, in case somebody does decide to want to transfer over.
I'm 100% on board with that. Martina was the one that kind of squashed that, and she had some type of personal philosophy on that, in my opinion. I don't think it was law. It was just her opinion on it, I think.
Tommy, it was something in the Ohio Revised Code.
If you can, because I know that, granted, the mechanics is one thing, but maintenance department is another, and it just seems like if we could pull somebody from another department in a lateral transfer the same way we do with police and fire, that would benefit our departments more than anything. But,
Okay.
yeah, I would say do that, just as a point of interest here. Does, right, but does the fire department require the drivers on the bigger equipment to have CDL license?
It's never been a requirement. You don't have to have it. Just like if you drive a big motorhome, you don't have to have a CDL, depending on what it is, as long as it's a motorhome.
No, but that's private. That's not.
Yeah, but it's like fire's never been required to have it, ever.
But she's driving a dual axle truck.
Yeah, but that's not that's not anywhere I'd make that decision. Yeah, they've never been
Wow.
required. Yeah,
Wow.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
That is, wow.
So we have to, they're forcing us now where I'm gonna have to have my guys that drive VACONs and stuff, they have to have a tanker endorsement to be legal. If it's, if it's over a certain, like our VACON stuff, if it hauls over a certain amount of water, they have to have a tanker endorsement as well to be legal now.
And
Used
your
to, they
trucks are,
didn't.
oh my gosh.
Used to, they didn't
The amount
have
of
to.
water you compare to that is unbelievable.
Well, used to, they didn't have to, but they had a Roto-Rooter guy make a turn, and the truck flipped over and killed a lady sitting in the turn lane because he didn't have baffles in the truck. So, yeah, I get it. It's a safety thing. Do what you got to do, but The only other thing I had a question on is, it was brought to me as I was walking over here, is I have somebody that has told me that they're going to leave April, May, and they're an operator too. So we're going to have to obviously do a promotional test for operator two. I still think I have a list that's good for street maintenance worker to 1 that we used last year. And if I need to extend it, I can, but we're going to have to look at maybe doing a test 2. The problem is out of the 4 that can go, there's one guy that is raising a stink about it and thinks that it's unfair. And he's made the comments to people that he'd get a lawyer and everything else because he thinks we need to change the testing system, that it's not fair. That some people have taken the test already and this will be their second time taking it. So we're going to have to maybe go down that path. I don't know. I don't know if he has any ground to stand on because nobody else has a problem with it. It's just one person. So do we change our whole system for one person that's upset about it? It's never been a problem in the past, but I'm just going to let you guys know that that'll probably be something that we'll have to discuss sooner than later, because I would like to get that test maybe going if we know that that guy's going to leave. That way, when he does leave, we don't start the process after he's already gone. That we can start the process, and that way when he leaves, we can move somebody up, because we've talked about that before, where we have to take the time to move up before we can hire an entry level. So I've already got the 1 ready to go up. If I can get the 1 to a 2, and then that way we can just start the hiring process once he leaves for an entry level. So I'll bring that hopefully next meeting, and maybe I'll get some more insight on what the issues are with the testing, and if you guys have any ideas for that.
Do you want to push this to March?
Yeah, I'm hoping by then I can, I'll have something for this for sure for the March meeting to bring back for you guys to look at. And then on the operator 2 thing, since it was just dropped on me today, I want to kind of talk to this person a little bit more and see how serious they are about having an issue with it. And then maybe look at some other options as far as how we do a test. I thought the way we did it was really good because nobody's involved with the grading, but obviously this person's already threatening to sue, get a lawyer, whatever. Basically, I think if they're not the one that moves up, basically, so.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Kempe, just curious, real quick. He mentioned the next date. Do you guys want to kind of tentatively set the next date? The next meeting date?
First Wednesday of March.
Is that the date that you want to go with? So that would be the 4th, March 4th.
March 4th?
March 4th, 9 a.m. again? All right, cool. Thanks.
March 4th, Chris.
Other business. Is there any other business the committee should address?
Sure.
Seeing none, I'm calling the committee to adjournment. The meeting is over. Thank you.
This has to go back. Let me have that one. Huh? Leave them here? Okay.